you. Dylan, what has your group learned about the Leafs? And I mean, for you specifically, from your time in Ottawa, you've seen them a little bit more than most people.
Yeah, I think we learned not only are they very dangerous off the rush, they're very good in zone at generating offense. Probably the best team we've played against in regards to hitting that slot guy, hitting them real quick. And, our sorts have to be really good. Our details have to be really good. When you're playing a team like Toronto, when I was in Ottawa, we found that when we had success, one, we played them very hard. Our forecheck was very good, and our details were really good. And I think the third game there we played in Toronto, we executed all that, and that was a really strong game for us. So I think, obviously easier said than done. Very good team. They're going to get some looks. I think our goaltenders were really good when we played in Toronto there. So hopefully don't have to rely on them too much and play our game. And if we can do those things, I think we got a good chance tonight.
We'll go next to Jason Bell from the Winnipeg Free Press. Go ahead, Jason.
Dylan, just a quick question. Both you and Pierre-Luc had a bit of a late start for different reasons this year, obviously. Can you just talk about how what you've seen from him as far as his sort of bounce back since that delay, and so that's first and foremost, and also just the ability to him to play with those two veteran guys and what that would mean for a guy that's still relatively young.
Yeah, I think, definitely a very unique circumstance this year with the quarantine he had to go through, and not just the quarantine itself, the timing of it as well was very hard. I think, he had a full training camp, played a few games, so his body's probably getting close to maybe how he wants to feel, and then he's down for 2 weeks. So that's, a shift physically and mentally. I think it maybe took him a little bit of time to get going, but I really like his game personally. I'm a big fan of his, and played him a little bit when he was obviously in Columbus. I was in Ottawa, saw him a few times, and just a very strong guy and super smart player, and got a lot of skill with that size. So when he's going, he's really hard to handle, and playing with those two guys, I think will just make him feel even more comfortable. Two guys that have been around for a long time, two excellent players for our team. Know how to play the right way, do the right things. So, they had good chemistry last game. I'm sure it's going to continue to grow.
We'll go next to Paul Friesen from the Winnipeg Sun. Go ahead, Paul.
Hey, Dylan, given how long you guys were on the road and how isolating the road is, not just for you, but your families here, what was it like to get home?
Fantastic. I think it was great for everybody to see their families and spend some time. Crazy schedule this month of 17 games, and feels like the whole time we were on the road, obviously. And even just this last trip, it felt like, we started off in Edmonton, but that felt like a month ago. So I know personally for me, it was great to get home and see my wife and see my son, who basically grew twice the size in that time frame when I left. So he's like a brand new kid. So it was really nice to be home and, spend some time with them. Obviously, when you're on the road, you miss your family. And when it's that long, like you said, when it's isolated, I think you miss them even more.
Just a couple more for Dylan. We'll go next to Kelly Moore from 680 CJOB. Go ahead, Kelly.
Hey, Dylan, thanks for sharing on how much your little guy had changed too. It was kind of interesting to hear that. Just from the last time you played Toronto, you talked about the challenges that they present and how well your goaltenders had to play. But in that last game, at least those of us who watch the team on a regular basis say that is the high watermark so far for this year. So how much of a reference point is that performance in going into the 2-game series here and maybe all of the 6 that are remaining?
Yeah, I think it's a good reference point for us because we stuck with our game. I think, the first 2 games, maybe we had it for bits and parts, but maybe not the full amount, or at least the majority amount of the game. That was pretty close to a 60-minute effort, as I think we've seen all season. So that's a good reference point. We have to get back to that, though. We can't just assume it's going to turn on as a light switch. We have to get back at that. And, a really gutsy, I think, road trip given all the circumstances. And I think our game's in the right place. So we'll just have to continue to do that tonight. And, I think we know our group and we know what makes us successful.